Write like this is perpendicular and this is point A dash somewhere here. This is XY line that is represented like this. Height is 80 millimeter, side length is square 30. This problem is asked for 6 marks. If you draw like this, it would be difficult for examiner to cut single marks. You write like this, answer number 1B, and with better clarity. And here scale 1 gem 1 is maintained, so no need to write, no need to mention that. If the scale is changed, you have to write over here scale 1 is 1 gem 2 or 2 gem 1, whatever scale is employed there. The object, this is the solution of this problem. Question number 1B. A square pyramid of base 30, base is 30 millimeter, you can see here. Let me cross check the solution. 30 millimeter is the base, height is 80 millimeter. It is resting on HP such that its base sides, means all these base sides, are equally inclined to horizontal plane, that is 45 degree, you can see here. And one of its slant edge is perpendicular to HP. Here 4 slant edges are there, O dash C dash, O dash D dash, O dash A dash and O dash B dash. So here one of its slant edge, that is O dash A dash, is perpendicular to XY line, hence it's perpendicular to horizontal plane. Draw its projections. So this is the projection. 6 marks are there. So 2 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1. 1 mark for front view, 1 mark for top view, and 2 marks each for these 2 views. Hence it carries 6 marks like this. Next question, question number 2A, asked for 7 marks. This object is given like this. Figure 2 shows pictorial view of an object. Draw its following views: elevation, top view, sectional side view, sectional left hand side view, along sectional plane XX. Give all necessary dimensions. Here we have to draw sectional side view. Means if we cut this object like this from here, this is a cutting plane, X to X. If we cut this object from this plane, what should its side view? That we have to draw after cutting this object. And the cutting plane which cuts the material, where it touches the material of this object or where it slices the material, at that area we have to draw section lines. Give all necessary dimensions. Don't repeat any dimensions in other views once it is given in one view. It is clearly mentioned. No 2 dimensions should be repeated in single drawing. We have to insert the dimensions in such a way that they are enough to redraw this full object or all its views. Now let me start discussion of the solution of this paper, of this problem. Its data is given like this. This is the object which is given to us in the question paper. Now in this object we have to draw its front view. If you look from front side, from here, this arc would be visible. You can see here, right? Let I can draw with these lines like this. In front view this would appear. We have to draw its front view. This strip will also appear in front view, and this circular portion, this hollow cylinder, will also appear, this hollow cylinder, in front view. And this edge, this portion, that would also appear in front view. So we have to draw these surfaces, and for that first we decide our planning, the width of the rectangle and height of the rectangle. Here height is given to us, that is 75 millimeter. This parameter is given, you can see here. This parameter is given 75, this one. So from this to this 75 means from this axis to this axis distance is 75. After that this diameter 40 is given, so 20. So 75 plus 20, that is 95 would be the height of this object, and its width would be from this end to this end. Total width would be there. This is R30 is given, so from this to this 60 millimeter would be its width, and here diameter 20 is given. So we assume that this radius is also 20. like this. It is not given in the diagram, but the diameter is 20, hence this radius would also be 20. So 20 plus 20, 40 plus this 60, that would be the width of this object. So let me draw that object like this. Now in front view, the object would appear like this. If we start from here, from this R20, this is the object. We start from this arc, R30 and R20. So for that, let we take the distance, that is radius 20 and radius 30. So let us take 20 millimeter as radius, like this, and draw an arc with 20 millimeter radius like this. So it would appear like this. This is an arc having 20 millimeter radius, and after that outside arc is there having 30 millimeter radius. So we have to draw that arc like this with 30 millimeter as a radius. And this should be trimmed out to have better clarity of the drawing, and this portion will also not appear, that we can trim out. Now think about these edges. 10 millimeter is the height from here, from here. So at height of 10 millimeter, we have to draw two lines like this. At height of 10 millimeter, and this bottom face is there. It starts from here, ends to here. So this is the front view of this particular curvature portion. This portion we have drawn over here. Here a hole is drilled of diameter 20 millimeter. So that we have to represent like this. First draw its center line like this. Here also center line would be there at a given distance, and diameter of hole is given as 20 millimeter. So at a distance of 10 millimeter on each side of the center line, draw dotted lines like this. Two dotted lines to represent this circular hole. Now we think about these edges and this cylinder. This cylinder will appear as a two circles, diameter 40 and diameter 20. So draw circles having diameter 20 and diameter 40 like this. So here is the circle with the diameter 40 millimeter, and another circle having diameter 20 millimeter with the same point as a center like this. And then this slant edge is tangent to this cylinder as well as this arc. So draw line like this, such that that line is tangent to the cylinder and this arc. It would appear like this. Then draw its center line, as it's an arc, and here is the circle. This is the center line. This is the center line. Draw here center line also. Here also center line should be there like this. So this is the front view of this object. If you look from this side, its front view would appear like this. Now think about its top view. In top view, if you look from here, this cylinder would appear as a rectangle. Hence we can take projections from here like this, and the length is not known to us. We have to find out that length from its top view. This length is given 30 millimeter. If you look from this direction, from top view, this would appear as a 30 millimeter height rectangle. So at a distance of 30 millimeter, draw a line like this. So this is a rectangle of width is equal to diameter of this circle, that is 40 millimeter, and height is 30 millimeter. Draw here axis also like this. Now next is to represent these two circular holes in top view. In top view, these two holes will appear as two circles with diameter 20 millimeter. So draw here two circles with radius 10 millimeter or diameter 20 millimeter like this. To draw these two circles, let me pick up the center point, which would be at the middle of its top view's width, its height, top view's height. Two circles with given diameters. Similarly, here our radius is there. Here is the radius with 20 millimeter as a radius. So put the same point as a center and draw an arc having 20 millimeter radius. So it would appear like this: 20 on this side, 20 on this side. After drawing this arc, join these straight lines like this. Here also with a straight line like this. Now in top view, you can see here this line would be visible as a full line. You can see here this line. So that we have to represent like this. From here we can take projection. From here we can take projection. Hence it would appear like this. Straight line. From here also we can take projection. So it would appear as a straight line like this. This line represents these edges, which is on both the sides. Now think about this strip. This strip starts from here, ends to here. Width is known to us, that is 8.397. So that to be represented in front view like this, and in top view with a dotted line, because it will not be visible when it is inside, it will be visible when it is outside. So this would be visible, this would not be visible, and here full line, then after dotted line, then after full line. If you look from the top side, this edge would not appear, hence that we have represented by dotted line. Up to this portion that would be appear, so we have shown by full lines. Now think about this circular hole, which is not visible, but edges are there in top view. So in top view they should be represented by dotted lines. You can take projections from here, take directly projection and draw dotted lines like this. It would be appear like this. Now think about this bottom hole, these edges. These two edges will also not appear in top view. So they should be joined with the dotted line like this. So dotted line would be there from there in this way. This dotted line represents these bottom edges. So this is the top view. You can write the name of view, front view. This is top view. Think about it, side view. If you look from side, it would appear like this. This would be its height, width, like this. How to draw this? We know the dimensions. This would be the outside line of this object. This width is 45 millimeter, which is given over here, and the strip is there of height 10 millimeter. So draw that strip with height 10 millimeter like this. After that, this is a circular cylinder. Cylinder is there and circular hole is there. Width is 30 millimeter and diameter of the inner hole is 20 millimeter. So draw this cylinder like this. Here the axis of the cylinder would be there, and the circular hole to be represented by dotted line. So draw dotted lines like this. Dimension of this circular hole is known to us, that is 20 millimeter diameter. So 10 millimeter on both the sides of the center line. Draw dotted lines. Now if you see from side view, this 10 millimeter width strip would appear. So draw that strip from here to this cylinder. That would appear like this. Now this cylinder, this bottom portion, this edge would also appear in side view. So to represent that, from here take projection to here, and this line represent the upper edge of this cylinder. Similarly, this bottom edge, which is inside and not visible, that should be represented by dotted line like this. So this is the dotted line, and here the last portion, that is the circular hole, this circular hole which is drilled in the strip, that to be represented in side view like this. The diameter is known to us, center line is positioned at the center, and this is left hand side view of given object. And here sectional reference side view to be drawn. So for that, if we slice this portion would be cut. So we have to cut this portion and draw center lines in this portion, because if we slice it, this material would be cut. Here also center line, section line would be there. Here also section line would be there. Here section line would be there. Here also section line would be there. And the final solution would appear like this. This is the solution of the problem. You can see here. This is front view, top view, insert the necessary dimensions, radius 20, radius 30 and so on. This is left hand side view, show section lines over here. It's a sectional left hand side view, and here the lines were there below this section line. So whenever we draw any section line, all lines to be erased one. Here dotted lines should not be shown. So that is the solution of this question. You can see here, this is an object, and we have drawn front view, sectional left hand side view and top view of this object, which is asked for 7 marks in this examination question paper. I hope all the questions which we have discussed over here has been understood by you, and if you have any question, you can contact me. ssonigra@gmail.com. My email address is ssonigra@gmail.com, and today we have solved 4 questions, 4 answers of the questions, and we will continue with the solution of more questions afterwards. Thank you. Thanks to all.